High press. The high press is when a team attacks the opponent the moment they receive the ball in their own half, forcing panic and mistakes before they can even think. In the 2014 World Cup, Germany's relentless pressing turned opponents into error machines and converted defense into instant attack. Counterattack. A counterattack happens when a team absorbs pressure deep in their own half and then explodes forward the moment they win the ball. The defense sits back, waits for the opponent to commit, and releases one devastating pass behind the line. Italy built an entire World Cup winning philosophy around this in 1982, and nobody could stop them. Parking the bus. Parking the bus means placing every single player behind the ball and making the goal completely unreachable. It is not pretty. It is not exciting. But when protecting a one-goal lead in a World Cup knockout game, it is the most effective tactic in football. False nine. A false nine is when the striker drops deep into midfield instead of staying up front, dragging the center backs out of position and creating chaos in behind. Spain's 2010 World Cup winning team used this masterfully, pulling defenders out of shape and letting midfielders ghost into the spaces left behind. Inverted winger. An inverted winger starts on the opposite side to their stronger foot, cuts inside onto their dominant foot, and either shoots or plays a killer pass through the defense. Arjen Robben did this to every team in 2010 and 2014 with the exact same move. They knew it was coming. They still cannot stop it. Tiki-taka. Tiki-taka is the art of keeping the ball through short, quick passes until the opponent is so exhausted chasing it that gaps finally appear. Spain in 2010 did not just win the World Cup with goals. They won it by making sure the opponent barely touched the ball for 90 minutes. Overlapping fullback. An overlapping fullback is when a defender runs forward past the winger to create an extra attacking option on the outside. Suddenly, the opponent has to choose between tracking the winger cutting inside or the fullback arriving at pace on the overlap. They cannot cover both. Someone is always free. Through ball. A through ball is a pass played into the space behind the defensive line for a forward to run onto. Get the timing right, and it cuts through an entire defense with one single movement. Get it wrong, and the goalkeeper collects it while you pretend you meant to play a back pass the whole time. Set piece. A set piece is a rehearsed routine from a corner or free kick where every run and movement is planned in advance to create a specific chance. France scored from a set piece in the 2018 World Cup final. Uruguay scored the goal that won the first ever World Cup from a corner. Never underestimate a well-designed set piece. High line. A high defensive line pushes all four defenders up the pitch to compress space and trap opponents in a tiny corridor. The risk is a fast striker running in behind. The reward is controlling the entire game within a compact shape. Germany used this to devastating effect as they dismantled Brazil 7-1 in 2014. Pressing trap. A pressing trap is when a team deliberately invites the opponent to pass to a specific area and then instantly surrounds that player from all sides the moment the ball arrives. The opponent thinks they have found space. They have walked directly into a cage. Pivot. The pivot is a central midfielder who sits in front of the defense, wins every loose ball, and recycles possession to keep attacks building. Destroy the pivot, and you destroy the entire team. Canny did this for France in 2018 while somehow being in 17 places at the same time. Double pivot. A double pivot uses two holding midfielders sitting side by side to protect the defense and launch attacks simultaneously. It gives the team an extra layer of security and allows both full-backs to push forward aggressively knowing two players are covering every dangerous space left behind. Diagonal switch. A diagonal switch is a long pass that moves the ball from one side of the pitch to the completely opposite flank in a single movement. The entire defensive shape has to shift across, and if it shifts too slowly, one player is left wide open with time, space, and a clear view of goal. Channel run. A channel run is when a forward sprints into the space between the center back and the full back to receive a through ball in behind. It is the most uncomfortable run for any defender to track because they have to decide whether to follow and leave a gap or stay and let the forward receive completely unmarked. 1-2. A 1-2 is the simplest and most devastating combination in football. Pass to a teammate, run past the defender, receive it back behind them. 2 touches and the entire defensive line is beaten. When it works, it looks like magic. When it does not work, both players just stand there pointing at each other. Decoy run. A decoy run happens when a player sprints in one direction purely to drag a defender away and create space for a teammate making the real run. The decoy runner gets no goal, no credit, and no celebration. Just the quiet satisfaction of knowing they made the whole thing possible. Zonal marking. Zonal marking means every defender covers a specific area of the pitch rather than following an individual player man-to-man. If an opponent runs out of your zone, they become someone else's responsibility. If 2 opponents run into your zone at the same time, it becomes everyone's problem very quickly. Man marking. Man marking means one dedicated defender follows one specific opponent wherever they move across the entire pitch. It neutralizes the most dangerous player, but creates gaps elsewhere. Mark the wrong player, and you have just given the opposition's best attacker a personal bodyguard for the whole game. Target man. A target man is a powerful physical striker used as the first point of contact for long balls and crosses. The team plays directly to him. He holds the ball up, wins headers, and brings teammates into play. Not elegant, not sophisticated, devastatingly effective in a right game at the right moment. Half space. The half space is the area between the center and the wide positions on the pitch, and it is the most dangerous area in modern football. A player receiving the ball in the half space can shoot, pass inside, play wide, or run forward. Defenders hate it because there is no single correct answer. Gegenpressing. Gegenpressing is the tactic of immediately pressing to win the ball back the instant you lose it before the opponent can organize any kind of attack. The theory is brutally simple. Win it back within 5 seconds and the opponent has no momentum. Wait any longer and they're already running at you. Tempo control. Tempo control is the ability to speed the game up when attacking and slow it completely down when protecting a lead. The best World Cup winning teams shift between both within the same 90 minutes. Slow tempo drains the opponent's energy. Fast tempo catches them before they can organize their shape. Combination play. Combination play is when 2 or 3 players combine with quick short passes in tight spaces to bypass pressure and create chances in dangerous areas. Spain's World Cup players brought this to the international stage in 2010 and made every other team look like they were playing in slow motion. Simplification. Simplification is the decision to stop trying to win beautifully and instead make the game safe. When protecting a lead in a World Cup final with 10 minutes left, the smartest thing any team can do is keep the ball, avoid risks, and force the opponent to chase something they cannot reach. This is how World Cups are actually won.